When I was a youngster, I lived on the Isle of Wight, and I often used to go down to Apley Beach, which was just down the end of the road from me. So this is a song called Grandad at Apley Beach, which is a song written and sung by Isle of Wight troubadour Steve Love, who is currently on a world tour of the Isle of Wight. Grandad at Apley Beach. Has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. Grandad took us to the seaside down at Apley Bay for sand and sun and lots of fun, and we said let's stay all day. Grandad bought us all an ice cream and gave us each a spade. So let's all play, and we worked away, and a sandcastle was what we made. Then Grandad told us he was tired and would like a little nap. So down he lies and shuts his eyes underneath his cap. Now has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. It was my idea to bury him, and we started with his feet, then knees and thighs up to his eyes, till he was all complete. Then we played the game of rounders and paddled in the sea, and we kicked a ball and had a ball, and we were happy as can be. Then we went to look for Grandad, to tell him where he'd been, but that was when we found he was nowhere to be seen. Has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. Well, we really love our Grandad, and it was such a shame. We searched around, but that's how we found that sand all looks the same. Then we looked for his toes, or knees or nose, or his chin or bits of skin, or perhaps his jaw, but then we saw the sea was coming in. Has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. Well, we dug up half of Apley because we were getting frantic to think that he could be underneath the Atlantic. We called the police and fire brigade, and they came from everywhere, and coast guards and lifeguards who said he must be there. There were helicopters, planes and boats searching far and wide. They did not quit until every bit was covered by the tide. Has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. Well, there never was no funeral, and that did not bother Gran, because off the shelf she found herself another man, and he takes us to the seaside every sunny break, and what is more, he makes quite sure he always stays awake. But if you go to Apley, please dig with care. Remember, our Grandad is in the sand underneath you somewhere. Has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and we buried him in the sand. Yes, has anyone seen Grandad? Can you lend a hand? He fell asleep and we dug him deep and he is still there in the sand. Grandad at Apley Bay.
I think I'll avoid that beach.
Well, don't
I'll
dig
go to
up
some
the
other
sand.
beach where some other dead thing is.
Yeah, don't dig up the sand because you might find Grandad there.
Thanks, Brian.